What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Burning the Red Shirt, second December version for you here. Holidays are upon us. Let's get political right off the jump here, Andrew. Are you a guy that says Merry Christmas or are you a Happy Holidays guy?
Oh man, I have been. You're talking about with people that like just you don't
Yeah, if you
know.
don't know them, you're at your daycare, you're at your elementary school, pick up, drop off, you see somebody, hey, Happy Holidays or
Yeah,
hey,
I've sold out.
Merry
Happy
Christmas.
holidays.
Are you really?
Yeah,
That's good. At least you're doing it standalone. You don't change it based off of anything. You don't say Merry Christmas one reason or another, right?
it just feels presumptive, especially in like Jersey City. Like there's a lot of different religions and
You're
such
being
going on.
respectful. I like that.
Yeah,
I think I'm a Happy Holidays guy too, to be honest.
really, you're in a suburb in Georgia. Like,
Well, I'll say this: at daycare, I say Merry Christmas because it's like it's like an actual like a Christian
oh,
daycare.
it
Like
is okay. Yeah,
there's like scripture rain, not a ton. It's not like forced on you, but it's like every now and then you see it type stuff.
yeah,
Uh, I think at the grocery store, I would say Happy Holidays though.
that makes sense.
I don't know. We'll see. We had to do a podcast today because we needed to commemorate the famous Idaho Potato Bowl, which I think has taken the cake for the worst bowl game of which, like, I don't think it's possible. This is the worst bowl game that was the worst bowl game of 2025, correct?
Yeah. Now, I mean, knock on wood, this will be 3 bowl seasons in a row where you just have that one day where every single bet's a loser. I'm hoping that yesterday was that one and we don't get another one. But just toss over your shoulder and move on. The game itself, I watched 2 plays. I think I watched the first, no, 2 or 3 plays of the first 3 and out of Utah State, and I was like, I could see where this is going. Absolutely not. And then just
It really never got better. I had it on the side for a little bit there,
yeah,
like into the second half, and I was like, I need to go do something else. This is
yeah.
bad. It's bad for the mental health. And I don't even have that much on it. You used to bet who would score the lowest amount of points in bowl season. Did you do that again this year?
So I looked. They have those markets for the CFP, but there was nothing for. I couldn't find anything for the entirety of bowl season. I wish I was looking for it. It's just lighting money on fire, but it's fun.
Oh, it's great fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
They have the CFP ones up for the quarterfinals on FanDuel, and ESPN where it's like tough to bet. But they have low scoring, high scoring game and team.
Okay. Who would you bet is the lowest scoring team?
So the thing that called out to me for like
Wait. Actually, let me stop and let's redo this. Let's have a little
Yeah.
bit of a game. Are you looking at the odds currently for this?
I was looking this morning. I could pull them up though.
I would like to guess who has the worst odds or the best odds, who they think is going to score the least. It's got to be Miami, right?
That sounds right. Let me look.
Then I would bet Alabama. I think that's fairly obvious. Would it be Indiana next, or would it be Ole Miss next?
They might have taken this stuff down. I was looking at it, and now I can't find it anymore.
What an interesting market. I feel like it's probably not worth it though, because Miami is such a heavy favorite, I would imagine. Plus, that does feel like the realistic choice. But you were about to go into a monologue, so I'll let you go back to it.
Oh, the highest scoring one I was looking at this morning on ESPN, that was team, and there is just a what would you call it? Everything's kind of clustered together amongst like 5-6 teams. Georgia, a slight favorite at plus 250, but then 5 teams between plus 450 and 700. Ohio State at plus 500 for high scoring team. Like this is on ESPN or it's the score, so like it's tough to get money on there.
It's one of those ones you're betting like $11.07.
Yeah, unless you like I can beg a buddy to help with it, but I don't know.
That doesn't feel like beg a buddy worth. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah. It's not. But Ohio State at plus 500 would feel kind of interesting. Like maybe they just flip the switch and start activating their cheat codes, and then they drop 40.
I mean, they do have the pieces, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they have an incredible receiving quarterback group, and then obviously Bo Jackson is very adequate. What I find really interesting is, do you know the spread of Oregon Texas Tech?
Yeah.
Did that not surprise you?
Apparently Oregon is like a very public side, and I think they're taking money at this point. Surprising in that you would make Tech favored.
Yeah,
I've
been very pro Texas Tech the whole season, so
yeah,
I'm a little bit biased.
You know, our buddy franchise has like preseason natty tickets for them.
No way, good for him.
Yeah, and
maybe he'll pop on the show again.
Dude, he told me about it in like July. I'm like, oh, that's nice, have fun. And because of him, I put some money on them to win the Big 12. Maybe it wouldn't have been so dumb to put just like even like $15. They were like 500 to 1, dude, to win the natty.
Dude, if you're gonna put someone to win the conference, that would put them in the playoff. You got to at least throw $5 or $10 on it if you're going to do that.
Yeah. I try not to think about it, but they look so good. If I was forced to choose who's going to win that game, I would have to say Texas Tech.
Okay, so one of three things is probably the reason why, or maybe a combination of all three. The reason why Oregon, what do you think? Oregon's the favorite because they looked so good in the first half against JMU. They played the first round against JMU, so that means they're not like sitting cold 2-3 weeks like Texas Tech, or 3-4 weeks like Texas Tech maybe, or people or like legitimately Oregon is just better than Texas Tech, like from like a better size. Because I think it opened at 1.5. Like I don't think it's moved. I think it's always been 1.5.
Yeah, I think that. Well, there's been like people with market influence that I think have given out and played a little Oregon, but like you said, it hasn't really moved. I think that there's probably questions just in terms of like Texas Tech's offense, even when like both their toughest games of the year, I guess the 2 BYU games, and then Arizona State, no Morton, but then both BYU games played out like the exact same. They didn't really get much going offensively initially, and then the defense just suffocated, created short fields, turnovers and such, and then like you do that enough consistently, you're gonna find your way to like high 20s, low 30s type points. But still, like you watch the game, I think it's fair to have questions like, what if Tech can't run the ball? What does that look like?
What if nobody can do anything against them offensively? Is my question though. Like this is not your classic. This is not your grandfather's Texas Tech team. Like this.
No, their D is incredible. It's the best defense in college football.
And their line, I mean, it's the full Monty. The linebackers are incredible, even with their fake Heisman stuff they did with Jay Rodriguez. Like they're super athletic. They have pass rushers. Their schedule has been very weak, right?
You know why? One of the reasons why franchise was on them preseason, the defensive coordinator, it's this boy Sheil Wood from who was like Summerall's dude at Troy and then at Tulane. When we all hung out in Georgia, he was talking him up a couple of years ago for like the best coaches, the best tackling that he's ever seen type deal. And then Tech went out and paid him like $2 million. And that, I mean, I drafted them in fantasy going into the year in like best ball and season long, and like I mean, it played out great. Like, take those mercenaries and give them to one of the best defensive coordinators in the sport, and this is what you get, I guess. Did he win the Broyles Award, or who won that? He should have won it. Like no questions asked.
I mean, I'm surprised you even asked me. Like I would pay attention to that stuff.
Yeah,
you've always been the awards guy. I'm not the one that pays attention to it.
Yeah.
What do you think about? I'll go back to that question. What's the lamest game of the weekend, of that playoff weekend? For context, I mean, for everybody, right? on New Year's Eve at 7:30 is Miami, Ohio State. And then you get the triple header on Thursday, January 1st, the Oregon, Texas game, Bama, Indiana, and then Ole Miss, Georgia to round us out. Which one is maybe not like the blowout or maybe the one that's like the most underwhelming? Like Miami, Texas A&M was close, but it was kind of like so awful that you just kept watching because it was close, but it wasn't really all that exciting until the end, which was great. So maybe that's the route you go with, but like, what's the one that you think is going to be the worst of the bunch?
I'm excited. I love the New Year's Eve game. Just having that going on, as opposed like without that, like there's no sports on New Year's Eve night, so it's great we have that. I'm hopeful that Ohio State activates the kill switch, or that's not the right term, but just flips the switch and turns it on so that I don't lose a bunch of money on their futures. So I will personally be very invested in that game. What happens in the Alabama Indiana game where that game is actually interesting? Like I assume Alabama just kind of looks like garbage and Indiana kind of methodically puts up 30.
The only way that game is really all that appealing, I think, is if Indiana is overrated.
Yeah.
Like I think if Indiana is just not as good, and maybe we see a sign of that. What if like Ohio State wins by 3 barely against Miami? Then it's like, okay, like maybe there's a route to Indiana not being all that great. But I don't know. I don't really see that happening. They lost a defensive lineman. I guess that's really good. But I don't know. It feels like they could more just score some points. And I'm not all that, I think the game against Oklahoma with Alabama was not like they were kind of handed the game a little bit, just like they handed the game to OU back in the regular season. Do we have any updates on Kewan Lacey? I would imagine Chambliss is going to play for sure, but what about Kewan Lacey? Any updates there?
I haven't seen anything, but I haven't been looking as much as I should yet. Chambliss came back then and finished the game, right? So, yeah. But Lacey left twice and didn't come back the second time.
It was the left, it was left shoulder. Like he came back the first time and it looked like he was favoring it a little bit.
Yeah, that feels worth looking into for props.
They said he could. At the time, they said like, oh, they offered him a brace, but he didn't want it. So you wonder, could they just like strap that thing tight to his chest and like let's rock or what? I don't know. Good thing they're playing Georgia, who doesn't hit hard or have any ginormous alien football players on their defense.
Right.
I'm going to say something nice about Georgia, so hold on to your bridges. I think it's in a landscape of college. And Jared, please make sure you're not recording this, please. In a landscape of college football that's like built off of transfers, and Georgia it certainly has transfers. I mean, they're running back, a couple like a backup running back, receivers are transfers. I think it's actually kind of cool that Georgia's so dominant with so many guys that just have been there. You know what I'm saying? Like when you look at like Stockton, Frazier, offensive lineman. I don't know about the defense, but I imagine their number was like 90% of snaps or starters were guys that were recruited by him. Like, I think that's pretty cool. Like, good for them, and they're one of the only ones that are doing it that way, and they're doing it like so dominantly.
Definitely makes it easy to root for. It is kind of annoying whenever we do take transfers, which it feels like that it is slightly an upward sloping trend, which is probably it's not a bad thing, I guess, because in order to remain competitive, you can't just be like Dabo and ignore it. I always feel underwhelmed by the guys that we do take, especially at like skill positions. It's like Josh McRae, like Noah Thomas. It's like I don't know.
London Humphreys.
Yeah.
Of
course, they get rated highly because we show interest in them, right? But I don't know. They're kind of whatever. But that Kirby cursing at everyone always fires me up. I don't know. It's not a difficult team to root for as a fan.
I mean, I live here, and I would appreciate if they stopped winning, and it's obnoxious. But from the other angle of like traditional, if you want to go that like boomer-ish type route where like that really matters, like they actually are doing it very well.
Which of your teams are you most excited for going into 2026?
None of them.
They're all kind of in a bad place.
I mean, Michigan is okay. Let's clear the air here. Michigan is the team I care about the most Virginia Tech second, and I don't care at all about Auburn.
You put Michigan over Virginia Tech?
Yeah, I've
You went?
liked them since I was a little child.
True. Did you apply?
You know what's funny is I was like, I mean, I wanted to play baseball in college, which I did. So I was like, oh, you know what? I'll never like. I'm not going to consider Michigan like Big Ten team up north in the cold. Like I don't want to do that. And then, do you follow college baseball at all?
Mainly
Enough
because
to
of
be dangerous.
Yeah.
Michigan was like dominant from like I don't know. I was maybe the years I was in college, but definitely the 2010s. So like they blew Virginia Tech out of the water in terms of talent and wins. But I mean, I did play in the ACC, so like it was a little bit different. Um, but yeah, no, I did not apply to Michigan or try to go there for baseball. So I mean, the problem is like if Michigan had a head coach, I might be more excited. You know what I'm really like excited about, and the only thing that me and Mike talk about that's fun anymore is Michigan basketball.
Yeah, they're good, right? They're
They
favored to win that.
they're incredible. Yeah, they keep winning 100 to 50. It's stupid. But yeah, no, I'm not really. The problem with I mean, I'm excited about the long term vision and the future of Virginia Tech because James Franklin's a good hire, and I like what's like the recruit stuff. The schedule is very unkind to them next year, and until they get a quarterback, until like I see something on the field, it's like if I get a quarterback, I'll be a little bit excited, and then I'll like be back to like really watching the games hardcore. But I don't know. It's just ever since getting into props and stuff like that way more, it's not as easy to watch a 7-5 team. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
or a 4-8 team. You know, Virginia Tech. It's like I need to like watch where my money's at, not watch this team that's 3-7.
yep. It's killed a lot of my fanhood.
I don't know if it's probably going to get better for me because I'm phasing myself out slowly and surely. But
The in Jersey prop anti CFB prop logos is getting passed in 3 weeks probably.
oh no,
Yeah,
very somber right now.
Try my best, but it seems like I'm not gonna have any effect, unfortunately.
So what does that mean? You're not going to be able to bet any props, period, for college football?
So have to use a lot of the relationships that I've made. But like
You're going to be making a lot of trips to Delaware. Delaware doesn't have it, do they?
Delaware doesn't have it, no. But I mean, I don't know. People when you show like when I don't know people that have like access to outs, right? Who are willing to help and like winning money. I don't know. I have it's gone well this year. Like I do a lot of stuff on my own accounts, but also have buddies that have helped me get down. So it's annoying that that's like the primary way I'll have to go about it now. It kills a lot of the things that I like to do. Like it's tough to hit openers right when you got to phone a friend.
Yeah, it's not easy. I've had you bet something for me randomly, but it's like the problem is you don't want to feel inconvenient to them because you actually have a heart. And then it's like, all right, well, like I want to do it immediately, and then it just becomes a availability thing, you know. What about like PPHs or like the fake website stuff where you find a bookie? Would you ever get into that?
So I have buddies that help me get down on PPHs. Let's talk about through all the angles because there's like a probably a decent segment of our audience that would like to get a peek behind the curtain anyway. I have buddies that have PPHs that help me get down right now. Usually, like when I'm phoning a friend, that's like 50%+ of the time. It's like Prop Builder has this up. Can we bet on it? It's a banger type deal. So that will like that. Nothing changes there. Would I get my own PPH account? Initially I was like, I don't want to fucking deal with a fucking bookie. Like that's scummy. I'm scummy, but like I'm not that scummy. But also there's like so the other component is I can probably get a PPH account if I want to through a friend. But I think like there's this element to it. It's like, okay, let's say a buddy refers me, gets me an account via his bookie, and I just start taking it for a ton of money. That reflects badly on my buddy. It's like you referred this sharp dude who's just like ripping me to shreds. Like that's
let's hang tight for a second. So for reference, PPH is essentially like a third party provider. I think it's goes for pay per head. It's like
Yeah.
if when your buddy has like a website they go to and they put their little login in, and then it's just this like sketchy third world country like
Exactly.
UI of like where you can bet. It's basically a way to skirt legal gambling rules. Nobody, like, if you got one, you're not really at risk of getting in trouble, knock on wood, legally, but like it doesn't feel good. I like for people like us that are like a little bit more risk adverse. But
Yes.
yeah, essentially it's a way to skirt the rules of legality. I could have a PPH here in Georgia where gambling isn't legal, period, and I'd be able to gamble.
Yep.
I have friends that have done it for 10 years and not an issue. You do run into like personal issues with like the bookie, like you're referencing with like a bad reference for it's a bad look for your buddy. And right,
Also,
then
getting stiffed.
what's that?
Getting stiffed.
And getting stiffed, right? Because then you have this like relationship of like, well, you keep paying me or I keep paying you, and yeah, it goes down a potential sketchy route of bookiness. Yeah, and then you have to like send money via Venmo or Cash App or something, and then like you could have that type of stuff blocked or banned or whatever if you don't do it well. So yeah, that's for reference what that all PPH and all that stuff is.
I would consider it though, for next year. But I have a few people who help me out now with that, and like they're quick trigger degenerates, so that's like less of a problem. The problem though, or the challenge, like PPH is harder to beat. So I don't know, my buddies who help me out with PPH, like over the course of the CFP season, we're talking about maybe 10, 15 bets, maybe 20 total. You're this bored that you're yawning while I'm going through this?
That wasn't a yawn. No, not at all. That wasn't a yawn.
But the problem is like the flow, the progression of a line, right? So most prop lines do not originate on PPH. They originate on like Underdog, Bet365, Hard Rock, the truly soft recreational books where if like Hard Rock and 365, like if you start being them, you're limited like immediately to like $10. So, and then from there, the line funnels usually onto like FanDuel, and then so that like it might originate on like 365 Hard Rock on like Tuesday, funnel onto FanDuel for a normal CFB week on like Wednesday, Thursday, and then like Thursday, Friday, Prop Elder, PPH, the line open. So it's been beaten down. It's had like 3 opportunities to get beaten down or removed if it's like a truly bad line by the time it hits PPH. So I believe the operative term is adverse selection to some degree here. But it's still like, because it's CFB and why it's the best sport ever, information is like king. Things don't always get picked up as the line funnels through the ecosystem, and things change throughout the progression of the week, right? So there's still opportunity.
It's like you said, it's a little bit of a adverse selection. The problem is, right, in theory, you don't want to bet something that has been bet 1,000 times over by other people, because that becomes more of a true line that becomes not soft. It becomes more real every time somebody bets it because there's more legitimacy behind it. But at the same time, too, just from doing stuff at like Unabated and talking to subs and stuff that use the similar type things, you can get random stuff pop up that'll be available just straight on a PPH potentially on a Saturday morning. But it just potentially changes how you have to look at it and how you work, right? So like you're not betting things anymore. If we talked about how many bets you make in a week and what percentage of them comes on like a Tuesday and a Wednesday versus Thursday, Friday, Saturday, you would be majority Tuesday, Wednesday, right? Or let's say maybe when they open, when like the opens
you're right.
versus a Friday, Saturday.
Yeah, this year, I got like 5 weeks into the season, and I stopped looking at my P&L on a week-to-week basis because I didn't like the idea that I was like summing it all up, looking at my bankroll, and then like kind of thinking about it through the lens of, well, this is my bankroll, and if it goes down, like that reflects on me type deal. So like from a mental state perspective, I stopped. Um, I still am like spreadsheeting things every week, but because like the websites won't let you you go back far enough to see your hit count history after a certain point, which is fucking ridiculous. But I've um, I've stopped like looking at numbers and doing analysis on for most of the CFB season. But my guess is I probably had like this year probably like 100 bets a week basically. But and so I would say yes, most of them or at least 50% of them are probably like openers relative to when the lines were released. So yeah, it would suck chopping that off. Right. And like removing that because like I would assume that that like is very influential with respect to my P&L.
Yeah, but like you said, things change, news changes. Maybe a line that's real when it opens on a Tuesday or a Wednesday becomes a great line when news pops. It just changes how
Yep.
you have to look at the betting landscape. But that's interesting. That's a tough break, and you've been bummed out for years about that.
Yep. One thing I'll say that so one thing that'll remain open is it's only FanDuel, but they created these. Have
The
you seen?
team, yeah, they do team
Yeah, dude,
props.
those
Yeah,
skins are fucking awesome. The main problem with them is the limits are atrocious because they don't know what they're doing and they're protecting themselves against them. But so I've like done some phone a friending on those when we get some real bangers. But
I
I
wonder.
expect
Do you think if college props individual stuff goes away, that's immediately what like underdog, prize picks, those types of sites would turn to?
so. I before FanDuel released these, which is like probably like 6 weeks ago at this point, I thought about that as like a potential future, and I always looked at it through the perspective like, fuck, that is going to kill like so much edge. Like it's not going to actually be like it's going to be night and day. It's not going to be interesting. It's not going to be like actionable. It's not going to be profitable. Um, it is a better experience than I expected. I could see it becoming more of a thing if like the variable based on legal landscape and such. Uh, it's the dude. So I didn't realize it when it happened. But if we've had this for, it's probably more than 6 weeks at this point with bowl season, but we probably had it for like 8 weeks as an offering. One of the weeks they released in Jersey, so they do rushing yards for a team, total yards, and then one week receiving yards popped up, which is like so hilarious because it's just like the other side of the passing yards coin, which is like a player prop. Like, let's be real. 98, 99% correlation, right? Um, and I was like, this is fucking awesome. Like first that they're being so like disingenuous about this and like offering it and just like skirting rules. And I didn't realize that at the time, but they just screwed up and they didn't mean to release that in Jersey. It's that is supposed to be an offering for like exclusively states, I think, that do not have player props because you could double dip, right? You could hit like the QB under and the team receiving under, and now I'm getting double the amount down that relative to my limits. But that so the receiving yards I found out through like buddies is offered in like non-player prop states. Um, which is and dude they offer these they were offering so they started them in like week 10 I would say the team yards and they were like the way the progression is usually they'll when FanDuel like offers when they start offering player props for a game they'll also offer the team yards. But then at a certain point on like usually Friday or Saturday for the weekend games, they'll just start offering the team yards for all the games, all the random G5 things. So it's just like click, like Kyle, like Ball State total yard under, or like teams that are like just have like quarterback situations and shit, or like a running backs out. Like so much opportunity just flows in like the main problem of course is like limits, right? Because it's tough to get like anything reasonable down for these, but still it's a fun addition to the landscape. It's way more fun than I thought it would be. I thought it would just be like so comparable to like NFL of like boring and just stupid, but it's an awesome offering.
Yeah, it's really seems unique, and it seems like you can still find edges. It's just a matter of, like, again, earlier, like, it's just a different type of edge that you have to think about.
Yeah.
When you say limit, how much are you actually talking there? Like $50? Or are you talking like 250?
So for so the way it works on FanDuel is if you want to see like the limit for a clean account, one that doesn't have limits, you just load up the prop, don't log in, type in like $1 million and see what the red warning sign is for how much you could bet. And for those, the clean amount is usually like for like, excuse me, normal / random games, like not on game day, because sometimes on game day limits bump. It's usually between like $350 and $600, but on a limited account, that correlates to like $75 to $125. So like not great.
Yeah, that doesn't really. I mean, it's nice because you could potentially get like 30 of them down on like a Saturday or something, but like it does.
Yeah,
you're not taking advantage of a bad line. You're just like creating a higher floor potentially,
which is like fine. I mean, my approach on like a normal CFB week is like I hinted at, like I want to have like 100 different things in play. So this definitely helps in that regard.
Kind of gives you maybe a little bit of a safer bet compared to others. All right.
Yes and no. If you have something else to talk about, it is worth talking to. It's the edges that you would have relative to information are a little less sticky, right? Because of the team component. But yeah.
I want to talk about two more things. Would you like to talk about BYU, or would you like to talk about Chandler Morris?
Is he really? Jared said he's going for another year.
I think he's going to get it. I have a friend that's a big UVA guy, and he keeps texting me about it. And Tony Elliott has said that he is now hopeful in planning to have Morris back in 2026. The math actually maths. So 2020, he basically didn't play at OU. Then he had 76 attempts and 27 attempts in his first 2 years at TCU, which put him at 4 games and 3 games. Why would one of those not count as a regular? I think one of them is medical, and I think they're counting the others a regular. I think that's what they're saying.
If he gets medical for one, then, but the first TCU one, that's the Baylor year where there's no injury component. That's when they lose 65-7 to UGA, and Dugan just misses a game, I think, right? And then the second year, what are the games for 2022, 2023? Or no, maybe I'm confusing years.
2021, he played in like the opener, and then he played in 3 random games in the middle of the season, and then not again. And then in 2022 is the year you're thinking, where he played opener, then he played a random game, blowout in November, and then he played in the championship game.
Yeah, so 2021, 2022, he has no case for a medical. 2022, 2023. Oh, that's so funny that's the year with UGA. That he has no medical case there either, though, because he freaking plays in the Natty, and like takes a final knee there.
So I think they're saying the 2022 season, he missed 7 games due to knee sprain. I think left knee sprain, and I think they're saying that is the medical. In 2021 is the regular red shirt. I think it's so hard to remember what you can go. I think it's though you can get the regular red shirt first, then you're allowed a medical, but I don't think you could go medical then a regular, if that makes sense. I could be making that up.
But the other component to medical, as I understand it, of course, as a doctor and legal expert in these things, that he would not, the criteria he would not meet is for medical. 4 games, I think, is like an important component to it, but you can't like play 3, have a medical problem, and then come back and play again after the medical problem's resolved. It's got to basically be like, I don't think this is like written law, but like when you go in front of, or like your case is heard, like one of the things they look for is basically like you played or you didn't play. You had your medical thing happen, and it made it so you were done for the whole year.
I think that's where the waiver comes into play, right? Is that typically it's what you're kind of saying. Like if you're hurt, you can't like play a game, miss 2, play a game,
Yeah.
miss 4, like I think that's where the waiver kicks in. I think he's going to get it. This is 2025, about to be 2026. Like rules are a figment of our imagination at this point.
Yeah.
So I think he could actually get it. What's funny to me is that I wasn't necessarily thinking that this would be his 7th year. I just in my head was like, oh, he's going for another year and he's been in college forever. It just like didn't click to me that he's one of the final 2020 guys.
I would bet no. I don't see it. But it would be cool. I'd be down. What about BYU?
BYU, do you see they are going to play Notre Dame?
Yeah. It's always annoying when so we should think of this as, and I know I'm talking about your team in this light, so apology, or one of your teams, so apologies. But you know how with Zach, how he's in the union, and then there's scabs who break the line if there's a strike. BYU is a scab by scheduling Notre Dame, right? USC held the line. They refused to schedule Notre Dame because of their Notre Dame getting that handshake or that written agreement that if they're top 12 in the CFP, they get in automatically. Good on USC. BYU, a total scab, scheduling them, caring about their financial interest more than the greater collective. So boo to BYU.
It's an interesting spot because you do still need, like, some of these teams do need like a BYU on the other end of the spectrum. Like some of these schedules are going to be so soft. Like these ACC schedules could be so soft, and even if you play 9 of them, or when you play 9 of them, you still don't really have any like marquee wins. And so, like, if you're 10-2 and you have no marquee wins, you kind of need the BYU and the non-con to make you.
You mean Notre Dame?
No, just in general. I mean,
Okay.
But Notre Dame definitely is a big one because they have so many automatic who cares games on their schedule. But like Notre Dame wouldn't have been in contention if they hadn't have played A&M and Miami. Like if they would have just lost another random game, like at least they lost to like a top 15 team twice. But if they just would have lost to like Northern Illinois, they're in trouble. Like they kind of need these big games, just like any other of these random ACC schools where you're like, man, this schedule is like, if your hardest game is Clemson, like that's not really anything special anymore.
Yeah, but all the good schools should refuse to schedule them until they either get that agreement stricken from the CFP rules or they join a conference.
So you're not really happy about that ruling, huh?
I just think that it's ridiculous that like they get any sort of special treatment. They're the same as UConn in my book. They're independent.
I will say I was kind of indifferent to Notre Dame. My father-in-law is a Notre Dame grad.
Yeah.
No reason for me to really hate him. Like as a Michigan fan, we don't even play him anymore, so who cares? Whatever. And I had some good prop moments with them and some bad ones. This past couple of weeks has been brutal for their reputation. Like if you were on the fence or indifferent, you hate them now. You think they're just so whiny. Like I don't know if there's ever been a fan base that like turned from like average whatever to, oh, nobody likes you anymore. They could not come off as any more whiny and crybaby-ish in the last 2 weeks as they have.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're not the first team to have a decision not go their way. And like Alabama, literally last year got it was down to them and one other team, and they didn't make the CFP. Like
Florida State 2 years ago,
like
3 years ago, whatever it was. Like
it's like it happens. Like
it rubs off just way too entitled, and I think that's why people get so mad about it. Hey, what do you think about this ACC schedule where there's a bunch of teams that play 9 games, a bunch of teams at 5 or 8?
8.
I think it's 5 teams play 8, 9 teams play 9 is why I was thinking that.
Why didn't they just make all play 8.
Because I think they started the whole 9 thing, and I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. Hey, but don't
it's
worry. They said
very
they'll figure out a
ACC.
tiebreaker by the time the season begins.
It's very ACC.
It's 100%. I don't know how you create a tiebreaker that is like fair.
No,
It
it's
it
outrageous.
makes no sense. I don't get it.
It's great.
You got anything for me? What kind of thoughts or questions are on that in that mind?
So
Dangerous question.
I feel like we are trending in the direction of just this week is true bull season. It's the peak of bull season in my opinion. We got a lot of like weird kind of random games that I think are could go a bunch of different ways. So a bunch of G5 P5 things going on. The Christmas games the day after Christmas are always fun. It's funny that we get 3 of them this year. My biggest if I were making a bull season wish list for Santa Claus, it'll never happen. But I feel like we should have been closer to it happening this year than it actually happened. Is I want to send one of the Big Ten, one either Michigan or Penn State or one of the big schools to the Detroit Bowl, the game after the day after Christmas at like 1 p.m. to play a MAC school. Penn State should have gone there this year, but like they're too big a brand, right? And they just get selected to the Pinstripe Bowl for no reason having to do with like how well they actually played. Like they should have been at the bottom of the totem pole for bowl selection, and they got to go to like a better bowl. But they should. How great would it have been to see them having to go to Detroit the day after Christmas to play Central Michigan?
Talk about an uninspired group, as if you would have sent Michigan or Penn State there. Like you can't even do a send off in that bowl game. It is an interesting week. I think the Christmas Eve Bowl, the Hawaii Bowl, might be the best Hawaii Bowl in some time.
Why do you think so? The direction of like the spread in total. So the total's getting bet down and Hawaii's taking money. Why would you hypothesize that would be?
I have no idea. I don't know what's changing on the Cal side.
Yeah, you got
I don't
Rolo
know.
coming home, JKS coming home. Like feels like wheels up.
And from a Hawaii perspective, like the only question mark, I guess, is Nick Senecal, but it looks like he's playing and he ain't moving a line or total or whatever. Like
Jackson Harris is out.
But we've known that.
Yeah, it's weird.
I don't know. That's a good question. I think everybody just likes to bet Hawaii.
There was a buried in a practice report a week ago. Alhada was still fucking dealing with this
ankle foot injury.
The foot injury from like week 2 or week 1. Week 0 is when he messed it up. He was still like, there was a note at the end of the practice report that he like didn't practice that day and was in a boot, still dealing with that injury, which I thought was interesting. But like obviously that would not impact the game in the way that the money is flowing.
Did you see Senecal's practicing and playing with Jackson Harris's number?
Oh no.
Do you think that's like a commemoration thing, or do you think it's like I want that number, give it to me? Like he wanted it all along. I think Senecal's a little bit on the off the field problem type, isn't he? Didn't he have some off field stuff?
Or you're not confusing him with Stephen McBride, right?
I thought they were. I mean, obviously Stephen McBride, but I thought there was Senecal as well. Maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, that Friday, December 26th slate of games is about as degenerate as it gets.
Yeah, it's great.
I don't even know where to begin with that, so I'm going to pass on it. What do you do about East Carolina? Like, is it even possible to try to predict what they're going to do, because they have coaching turnover and like multiple like quarterback receiver turnover? Like, what is it even possible to project? And what's also what goes on top of it is you have our guy Mike Wright, who's a runner only. Or they have another guy that's like a pass only guy. So from that angle too, it would totally mess up like what they're actually going to do.
Yeah, that feels like a great that game feels like a really good opportunity for props. You nailed it. It feels like there could be multiple QBs on the ECU side. Did you see? So how in the weeds are you on the 247 ECU board?
I don't hit boards as much as I used to.
sounds like London Montgomery's not playing either. He did not show up to practice yesterday.
Oh,
So yeah. So I mean, they have. It feels like every game they play, a new running back pops up. But like he has been getting like 20 touches right the last few games down the stretch. And even though they have a zillion guys who maybe can get 5 to 10 carries, most of them don't seem very good. While he has been very good down the stretch. So if we're leaning into a Mike Wright heavy game plan, which so you don't believe in the Pitt run D, right? As we discussed that
I
last.
mean, against real teams, I don't believe him. But this is ECU. I don't know if I feel that way against ECU.
Yeah, if they're going, but where I was saying though is, or gonna say was, if they're going with like the Mike Wright game plan, like, could you imagine a worse team to do it against than like Pitt that just wants to sell out against the run all day? Um, I don't know. I clicked a ton of Pitt money line when the Hauser news dropped, and now I'm trying to figure out if we're at the buyback point or if Pitt takes more money. I timed UConn Army perfectly. After like betting Army money line for like every day in different ways for about 10 days. I got ahead of the buyback when Skylar Bell talked everyone into playing. So I have
everyone, but the quarterback, right?
Yeah, exactly. It could still that game could still get weird because you seen the rumors that Evers might not play?
I haven't paid that much. It's too far out into the future for me to
So
care about.
One of my to-dos for this offseason, which I think I've said this for a couple off seasons to myself, and it's just like I never have gotten around to it, but it's so worthwhile, is to try and catalog all the G5 message boards that are go-tos for their teams. UConn has a really good one that where it's like there's insiders, there's activity, there's dedication for like aggregation of information. It's like everything you could want. But the working theory is, so if I can this out, Evers, there's no like confirmation, but it sounds like he might just be intending to go in the portal and not play. And then the third string guy, I think his name's McDonald, he got hurt, so there's question whether he can go. So we're talking about some true freshman with a funny name who, per the board, has shown some flashes, but like
They all have shown flashes.
yeah, he's QB4. So that game could still get like really fucking strange, even with guys playing. Like, what is it going to look like offensively?
Yeah, I'm not sure what to think of that one. When it comes down to it, when you're losing snaps against Army, I always would lean Army. That feels like not a game that you would want backups to be playing defensively.
Yeah.
Did you see UTSA feels like an inevitable team that like randomly people aren't playing? A lot of weird stuff could happen. Did you see Houston Thomas may not? It looks like I don't think Houston Thomas is going to play. Yep. Some people think that Devin McEwen's not going to play.
Saw that. Defensively, they're in a real bad place apparently. So there's a lot of conversation right around because Traylor like had a big press conference crying about his opt-outs and stuff like that. So it's like it got out there. It's known that they are down. They're down 10 to 20 guys, quote unquote. It sounds like a lot on the defensive side. You just mentioned potentially a couple of offensive guys too. What's getting talked about a little less is the weird shit going on the FIU side. So they're down both.
Yeah, I was going to bring the quarterback stuff is weird too.
That is like crazy. Did you see the quote from Willie Simmons?
I actually did. Is it referencing? I don't know. Maybe I'll play both of them.
Oh my gosh! If any QB gets listed, I feel like principal will just click under because it could get really, assuming like multiple are warming up, right? Type deal. But also they're down both starting corners and at least one starting safety and their nickel corner. So like that game has all kinds of like weird potential.
So for people that are not aware, Keywan Jenkins is the quarterback that got all season long, very average, got hurt, came back, got hurt again, but in that space, a guy named Joe Pasansky, yeah, he's what he looks like. You think he looks like he looked fairly decent. I want to say he had like maybe 5 or 6 passing touchdowns, 4 interceptions. And now they're saying, I don't know, maybe I'll play both. I think Pasansky's got to be the guy that would play a series or 2 and then get benched again for Kewan Jenkins. Like if you told me who's going to play more, I would say Jenkins, right?
Yeah.
Who do you think has a higher yards per carry, Jenkins or Pasansky? And their carries are 50 and 36, so they're pretty close.
Is it Pasansky?
Pasansky 2.9, Jenkins 2.6.
I'm surprised Jenkins only has 50 carries. It feels like he takes a ton of sacks.
He really doesn't run much, which is surprising because I felt like last year he ran a bunch.
Yeah,
but he didn't. Maybe it was 2023 he ran a bunch. He had 75 attempts last year, 107. It was 117 in 2023. Multiple games of double digits. That's what I'm thinking in my head. But only one game of 10 attempts this season.
What how do I put this? Backup player or guy who has not been a starter this year are you most excited to potentially get a look at for next year?
Nobody from FIU.
That's fair. But
I don't know. I feel like when I'm looking at Clemson, I can't tell if Adam Randall is going to get the senior send-off or if he's going to get like the senior commemorative series and we get a ton of Gideon Davidson. I kind of want to see
these fucking games.
That's what I lean. I really would like to see how legitimate Gideon Davidson looks against like a realish team in Penn State. But I do lean that Randall is going to get a ton of carries. And by the way, we do like the over on Adam Randall. And
your favorite?
It's literally unstoppable. It's one pretty much every single week. So yeah, I kind of lean the seniors, definitely the senior send off. What do you think the pass game stuff looks like with Antonio Williams out? You got Cole Turner. This is what's been really interesting. I'll lead the witness. Originally it was Tristan Smith who seemed to be like the third guy once Wesco went down, and then he had that Louisville game where he had 2 or 3 like god awful drops, and he got benched at half. And then Cole Turner came in, and since then Cole Turner's been the guy with Tyler Brown getting some mix in. So I'm curious, like all the time off, do they give it back to Tristan Smith, the senior? I think he's a 5th-year senior transfer. Or do they just keep running it back with Tyler Brown and Cole Turner?
Sounds worth keeping an eye out for a Tristan Smith prop. Dude, he isn't that Tristan Smith. I guess we're not getting one. Did he get hurt? Like he couldn't even get in the game against Furman?
That's what I'm saying is like.
Oh, he got 1 catch for 1 yard.
Yeah, they kind of like sent him, like relegated him.
Yeah. Interesting. I would be a little not so optimistic for the Clemson passing game, probably. Although Penn State, it feels like so with Clemson, there was the kind of like floodgates opening for opt-outs. Penn State, it's kind of like more of a trickle. Like they just lost a linebacker yesterday. Sounds like Khalil Dinkins isn't playing. It feels like it's kind of drip by drip type deal. So I don't know. Initially, I was like, I'm betting Clemson. Dabo loves this shit. He wants to win. And then it was like 27 guys are out. I was like, fuck, maybe Penn State's better side. But now, I don't know. It feels like every day Penn State loses more and more guys.
There's still a lot of time for people to get bounced. My problem with Penn State is Singleton's not going to play. If K-Tron plays or doesn't play, like that's pretty big because like what else could they do offensively?
Right.
Because they got Grunkmeyer, and it's not like their receivers can make plays and win by themselves. Plus, is Trevor Pena playing? I think
I saw he is.
Yeah, so I'm not so sure. From a Clemson standpoint, they definitely lose a lot of guys. They have a couple guys return, but yeah, they definitely lost a ton of defensive players.
My answer to my own question.
I was going to say, who's the player that you're looking at?
The Cincinnati quarterback, Samaj Jones.
I should have known. Yeah.
Yeah. Highlights look cool, look fun. Definitely a runner. So let's see if we can do it through the air. you have to imagine, since he's probably in the market for a Porter quarterback, but maybe he shows out so much that that kind of Miller Moss at USC, everyone gets scared away type deal.
Yeah, you know what would have been cool was like Hussein Longstreet playing. If like Hoss Haney was still at TCU, that would have been a fun one to see. But yeah, we don't have a whole lot there to work with. Bird Ficklin against Nebraska feels like a dangerous if he gets a serious run, which he could considering the spread's huge and
yeah. Dampier's expected to play in that, right?
I would imagine. Yeah, I don't know if we've heard anything about Dampier's future, which is kind of odd. It feels like you shouldn't have to worry about it, but yeah, I would imagine he's playing.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, hopefully the second December episode tickled your guys' fancy. Hope you guys enjoy the bowl games. Happy holidays and Merry Christmas. And we'll catch you guys in a couple weeks, I'm sure. See ya.
Later.